and sort of grown into Pakistan the way it has.
Wahhabism also suited perfectly to the idea of war. It's dry, it doesn't believe in rituals, and it doesn't connect with elders and history and civilization.
Now these terrorists have started attacks on shrines, Sufi shrines. There are 5 attacks in last 2 years, 5 to 6 attacks. Why they are attacking? Because they know the strength and power of Sufis, and shrine is not some piri muridi sort of thing. It is an institution where all are equal.
They not only have destroyed Muslim shrines, they have also destroyed Buddhist shrines, monasteries, and mandir, temples, and churches too.
ਨਾਮ ਮੋਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਸੀਤਾਂ ਨਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਫਰ ਦੀਆਂ ਰੀਤਾਂ ਨਾ ਮੂਸਾ ਨਾ ਫਿਰਊਨ ਕੀ ਜਾਨਾ कौन बुलाया की जाना मैं कौन अल्लाहु अकबर अल्लाहु अकबर अल्लाहु अकबर अल्लाह.
This is the Lal Masjid, or the Red Mosque in Islamabad. It was turned into a veritable fort by the Islamic militants as they declared an armed jihad against the government of General Musharraf in 2007. The Lal Masjid and its affiliated Jamia Hafsa Madarsa were illegally constructed on public land, and in the ugly struggle to rescue the area from the illegal occupation, more than 100 militants lost their lives, the majority of whom were the female students of the madarsa. The Islamic militant leaders, in their so-called jihad against the government, used the girls from the madarsa as human shields. In that terrifying holdout of Lal Masjid from 3rd to 11th July in 2007, 2 brothers, Maulana Abdul Aziz and Maulana Abdul Rashid Ghazi, acted as leaders of the militants. The younger brother, Abdul Rashid Ghazi, was killed in the scuffle, or jihad, and Abdul Aziz was arrested. A young son of Abdul Aziz was also killed in the Lal Masjid jihad. Maulana Abdul Aziz spoke to us.
आज तक इस्लामाबाद जो हमारा जहाँ आप बैठे हैं, यहाँ मदारिस के लिए कोई ला मौजूद नहीं है कि मदारिस को ज़मीन दी जाएगी. कोई ला नहीं है. यानी आप 1 करोड़ रुपए भी दें, 10 करोड़ भी दे सकें, तो आप इस शहर में, इस्लामाबाद में मदरसे के लिए ज़मीन नहीं ख़रीद सकते. दीनी काम के लिए आप सिनेमा के लिए ख़रीद सकते हैं, कोई और चीज़ के लिए ख़रीद सकते हैं, लेकिन इस्लाम के लिए कुछ नहीं. इसका नतीजा ये हुआ कि अब मदारिस की ज़रूरत थी. उलमा ने यह किया कि जहाँ किसी जगह पर भी जगह मौजूद थी मस्जिद के तहत, तो वहाँ नदरी ज़रूरत के तहत मदारिस बनाए और मसाजिद भी बनाई. आखिर मसाजिद तो बनानी थी, और इस तरह बहुत सारी मसाजिद भी बन गई और मदारिस भी बने, लेकिन वो गैर कानूनी करार पाए.
Lal Masjid was established on an encroached land. It wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. Okay, you have a masjid, but that doesn't mean that you will turn it into a madrasa and then you will turn it into an armed fortress. And then you will teach extremism, and then you will collect weapons from all over the country in that place. And when you're asked to evict, you will start a fight, armed violence.
Al Mosque had links with Al-Qaeda since 1980s. The first ever suicide bombing in Pakistan, in Islamabad, was an Egyptian embassy bombing mid 1995 or something, mid 90s, and was orchestrated by Ayman al-Zawahiri, who has written in his book so clearly about it. And the bombers stayed at that mosque at that time. That mosque was the refuge to all the Arabs who came to Pakistan.
परवेज़ मुशर्रफ का जब दौर आया तो उसने इस चीज़ को बुनियाद बनाया अपने जो मज़मूम मकासद को पूरा करने के लिए कि ये जो बहुत सारी जो इस्लामाबाद में मसाजिद बनी हुई हैं और मदारिस बने हुए हैं तो सब गैर कानूनी हैं, इनको गिराया जाए। और बहाना ये बनाया कि ये सिक्योरिटी रिस्क हैं, सड़कों के साथ हैं, ये सड़क के साथ है, वो सड़क के साथ है, इन सब को बिल्डोज किया जाए। उसके लिए 80 मसाजिद की लिस्टें जारी कर दी गई, जिनमें से 7 को 10.5 गिरा दिया गया।
Right before the Lal Masjid incident, a very alarming thing happened. Was there a group of young men and women who were new recruits of the madrasa had started going out in Islamabad, and they had started acting as vice squads, moral policing. That's what they had started. That is alarming, and that too in a capital.
एक मस्जिद गिरी, बड़ा एहतजाज हुआ, असम्बली में एहतजाज हुआ, उलमा भी एहतजाज कर रहे थे। फिर दूसरी मस्जिद गिर गई, जहाँ करते करते 7 मसाजिद गिरी। तो यकीनन हमारे तलबा और तालिबात में भी एक शदीद रद्द अमल पैदा हुआ, और उस पर जब कोई और सूरत ना हुई तो एक रिएक्शन था उसका। उन्होंने साथ ही एक मॉडर्न लाइब्रेरी थी जिस पर कब्ज़ा किया, और कब्ज़े के अंदर अपने मुतालबात ये रखे कि भाई ये जो मसाजिद गिराई गई हैं ये मसाजिद बनाई जाए। और फिर दूसरे ये भी रखी गई कि ये सब वजूहात जो जन्म ले रही हैं यहाँ पर, जो मसाइलिस्तान पाकिस्तान बन रहा है, उसकी वजह यह है कि यहाँ इस्लामी निज़ाम नहीं है।
Madrasa, in my opinion, is a place where you give enlightenment and education to children. It's not a place where you teach them how to use weapons.
उस पर जब ये हुआ तो हुकूमत की तरफ से एक सख्त रद्द अमल आया कि हुकूमत ने एक सख्त एक्शन लिया कि उस पर लाल मस्जिद का ऑपरेशन उन्होंने चारों तरफ मुहासा करके शुरू हुआ, और एक बहुत बड़ा सानहा जो पाकिस्तानी तारीख़ का नहीं पूरी दुनिया की तारीख़ का एक सानहा बना।
You may find it on the internet. George Bush, after the event of Lal Masjid, he said that it was part of our strategy in war against terrorism, because he knew that the Pakistan army, when it was fighting the Mujahideen and tribesmen in Waziristan or other places, the army would not put their heart and soul into it, and they were not fighting the army as tenaciously as they were supposed to do, because both were talking about Allahu Akbar from one side, Allahu Akbar would come the reply from the other side. This side would say Pakistan Zindabad, they would also say Pakistan Zindabad. So they were not actually, because army was pressed into going there, it was their forced to go in there, but they didn't have their heart, because this was an artificial conflict as far as we were concerned. So they wanted to make it a real conflict.
The Lal Masjid raid had far-reaching repercussions, and it helped begin the Third Civil War in Waziristan, where 3,000 people lost their lives. It was one of the main reasons for hastening the fall of General Musharraf from power. Within 6 months of the Lal Masjid raid, Pakistani Islamic militants were able to assassinate the popular leader Benazir Bhutto, who had been democratically elected twice to serve as Pakistan's Prime Minister. Benazir had told General Musharraf that she might get killed by the militants a few months before her death.
The information that I could be attacked by a gang from the Afghan warlord Baitullah Masood, or by Hamza bin Laden, the son of Osama bin Laden, or by the Pakistani Taliban in Islamabad.
In 2011, the Islamic militants murdered Salman Taseer, the progressive, liberal and widely respected governor of Punjab. And then they took the life of Shahbaz Bhatti, the Christian minister in the central government. Both these men were vociferous against the excesses of Islamic fundamentalist violence.
the forces of violence, militant band organization, the Taliban and pro-Al-Qaeda, they want to impose their radical philosophy in Pakistan. And whoever stand against their radical philosophy, they threaten them.
Governor Punjab Salman Taseer was killed by a member of his own security guard detail who sympathized with the Taliban and Al-Qaeda and felt that Governor Salman Taseer should not have expressed sympathy and support with a Christian woman who has been jailed under the blasphemy law.
I believe in rule of law. Salman Taseer was the constitutional head of the biggest province in Pakistan. He himself broke the law. He had no authority to enter inside a jail and address a press conference with a convicted woman. And when he did that, some religious leaders, they tried to lodge a police complaint against him. But he was the constitutional head and nobody registered a case against him. When there was no case against him and the law became a joke in Punjab, so then another extremist, he took the law into his hands and he shot Salman Taseer.
Salman Taseer was not killed by a Wahhabi, he was killed by a Barelvi, sort of those people who are closer to the Sufism. And Salman Taseer is supposed to have said something or done something which they thought was against the honorable name of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So I think they get enraged on this.
I think Salman Taseer's controversy was very unfortunate in that it created an impression as if he stood for amending the divine law. Nobody bothered to explain what he meant when he spoke about the case of Asia. Not even his party actually stood for him. And on that very unfortunate day, this man just picks up a gun and mows him down. You could call it the acme of militant explosion in Pakistan, or you could call it one of those very unfortunate incidents of the sort that you would find even in the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi.
Deliberate killing of minorities minister Shehbaz Bhatti, who was a Christian himself and president of the All Pakistan Minorities Alliance. Within 2 months of the killing of Punjab Governor Salman Taseer, also by the Taliban, has been sent a very clear message: cease and desist your efforts and your struggles and your movements.
Whither shall Pakistan turn to from here? Does a future of secular democracy have any chance of dawning in Pakistan? Its civil society is full of doubt and misgivings.
जब आप मज़हब के नाम पे मुल्क बनाएंगे तो जो मज़हब के नाम पे मुल्क बनेगा उसमें सब कुछ होगा. जब आप कहते हैं कि मुस्लिम है तो मुस्लिम लीग में आ, और पाकिस्तान का मतलब क्या, ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, उसका मतलब यही है कि जनाब यहाँ आप मज़हब मौलवी की बदमाशी चलेगी. अब उसका नतीजा फिर यही निकलना था. और आगे आप देखिए, एक दिन आप बद से बदतर की तरफ जा रहे हैं. और ये मजहबी इंतहा पसंदों और मजहबी दहशतगर्दों की नर्सरी है ये पाकिस्तान.
The bigots, the Taliban, the Lashkars and jihadi organization are number one enemy of Pakistan, number one enemy of Islam, number one enemy of the Muslims, and number one enemy above all, the humanity at large.
आज ISI ना चाहे या आज फौज ना चाहे, इनमें से किसी मौलवी मुल्ला मौलाना की जुरत नहीं है हिम्मत कर, लेकिन ये सब उनकी आशीर्वाद से और उनको.
Our education budget is almost, I think, 1% of the national budget is education, and about 40% is defense. It's ridiculous. We don't need such a big armed forces. There's no threat to Pakistan. No country wants to attack Pakistan. I don't believe that it is India's interest that Pakistan should disappear. But if Pakistan disappears, they're the next target for extremists towards their west, northwest.
If democracy has to survive in Pakistan, it has to be a secular democracy, because democracy and religious state,